Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ruchi Srivastava, Faculty of Management Department in the Tecnia Institute of Advanced Study. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the introduction of the performance management, which is very important topic of today's. What is the performance management? Before I proceed to this, I will discuss the topic. What do you mean by the performance? So how can we define the performance? Performance can be defined as an action or the process of carrying out accomplishing any task or any function which is given to an employee within a certain period of time, that can be defined as a performance. To a more broader aspect, we are using the term called as a performance management. So how do we define the performance management? Performance management includes a process used to manage the corporate performance, the methodologies that drive some of the process and the metrics used to measure performance against the strategic and the operational performance goals which is given by the organization, and as an employee you have to achieve that goals which is operational or the strategic for the sake of the organization. Defining in a more simple way, what do you mean by performance? In a simple way, performance can be defined as an output. What outcome? Like output delivered by an individual in relation to the given role during a particular period under a set of circumstances operating at that point of time. So how do you measure the performance of an individual? You measure the performance of an individual through the output. Performance can also be in an easy way, can be put in a numeric form or in a formula form, that is performance equals to competence into commitment into culture, that is supportive enabling best chance factor. That is, your performance depends upon your capability, your commitment, the culture which is given by organization, and of course the luck factor which is called as a performance. So these four things makes you a performer, to be a good performer. Why the companies are talking about the performance and performance? Why the companies? The reason is this. The first reason is that it helps to reach the organization mission and the goals. Every organization has a certain goal, that is they want to have 25% of market share, they want to become the market leader. This can only be attained through their good performance, which is their goal. So performance management is gaining the popularity. Second, it encourages and reward behaviors aligned with the organization mission and the goals. Your behavior is accordingly aligned in the performance management. And very important aspect, which is the last aspect, is the curb of unproductive activities. There are many employees, sometimes they get involved to the activities which are not giving return to the organization. As such, when you have a very systematic performance management, it helps in curbing the unproductive activities or removing the unproductive areas from your key result area from the job areas. Thus, we can define in a performance management in a more easier way, in a more simpler way, that it can be defined as it is a continuous process of identifying, measuring and developing the performance of an individual and teams and aligning performance with the strategic goals of the organization. Why we call it as a continuous process? Because if you want your employees to be very effective, they have to be monitored not for 1 month, not for 2 months, not for 3 months, but throughout the year they have to be monitored. That is the reason performance management is called as a continuous process. This is the reason why it is called as one of the major component. And the second is that it should be aligned with the strategic goals. Whatever the goals which the company is defining, it has to be aligned with it. So these are the main component of the performance management: continuous process and the alignment with the strategic goals. And the third important aspects, what are the dimensions? I'll discuss. There are 4 or 5 dimensions which I'll be discussing. The first is the result and the output. Result and the output is the first dimensions of the performance. Result talks about the most acceptable, visible as well as measurable dimension of the performance, which is the result of the output. Result, that is, you are getting the 95% score in your exam. This is the result. This is the output. How your performance has been measured. You are earning around 1 lakh rupees as a salary monthly basis. This is your result. This is your output. output. So this is called as a result and the output, which is a very important and the first most essential component of the performance. Second is that it also describes the standard. The result also describes your standard, which is measurable. You are getting 97 of percentage. This is measurable. So I think my topic is clear about how do we talk about the result. Third important aspect is the time, which is very, very important thing. See, whenever you are given a certain target, certain objective, certain goal, that is being defined with the time, that you have to achieve your target, you have to achieve your goals within a certain period of time. That period of time could be a 1 day, could be a 1 week, could be a 1 month, it can be a year or for a life. This is the period set for the performance is very, very important. Suppose you are working in a marketing department, you have to attain the NOC. NOC has to be obtained within a 3 months. So 3 months is your deadline, which is your time factor. Third important component is the input dimension. Input dimension means क्या होता है? The input dimension deals with the activities or the tasks to be accomplished by the individual. Input, what the person is giving in an input form to do that work. That could be your ability, that could be your work, that could be your motivation, that could be your organizational support which you are getting it, right? So this is what is the third important thing which an employee has to give for giving the best performance. That is his good ability, good knowledge, his efforts, his energy, his motivation level which has to be given, and definitely above all the organizational environment. That is the organization support. And the fourth component is the quality. What do you mean by the quality? Quality talks about the producing the quality work, providing the work with the minimum errors, with minimum defaults. That is called as a quality work. If you are in the manufacturing department, then the quality matters more than the quantity. So quality is the third and the fourth very important aspects for the performance. And the last, which is very important, is the cost factor. What do you mean by the cost? It implies the capacity of a business unit to produce a given commodity at the lower cost through more effective utilization of the existing resources. See, how can you lower the cost? When you know how to utilize the resources in the most optimum manner. So we define it as a cost to be a process of the cost reduction by improving the efficiency of the operations. I can tell you in the present scenario, many companies are using this concept of performance management and they are gaining the popularity, they are becoming successful. Who are those companies? I think everybody knows. That is the Facebook, very prominent name, Microsoft, very prominent name, Goldman Sachs, one of the most important and very renowned financial consultant firm, Reliance, an Indian based company, Tata, and many more other companies which are following the concept of the performance management. I hope you understood on the topic of introduction of performance management. So please do like, share and subscribe Tecnia TV. Thank you so much.